Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Same old coffee, same old creamer. Well, today's high is going to be 71. It's supposed to be clear. Right now it's overcast, but it's still early, so weather can change. We don't have any rain in the forecast, but we could use some, that's for sure. But it should be a good day for continuing my work out in the garden, cleaning up my yard. It's getting there. I'm doing it in sections and not stressing too much about it. I'm trying to go through life with just enjoying the moment and being mindful and living in the moment rather than always thinking ahead of the next project that I have to do, because that can make you crazy. So today's the first day of fall. Yay. Fall's become my favorite season. It used to be summer, but as you get older and you can't regulate your body temperature like you used to, sometimes your favorite things change. So now fall's my favorite season. I love the leaves. I love the atmosphere, all the things that go with fall. Somebody's getting a drink. They are so loud when they get a drink. Anyway, I'm going to be getting a drink here too. So let's give this a taste. Cheers. Ah, that's very good. Sometimes my coffee's better than other times. I don't have a precise measurement that I put into my little coffee basket. So it's all right. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's less strong. But I enjoy it. So I'm putting everything in the house on hold. By that I mean the decluttering, the organizing, until I can get the outside finished, the back. I have a few things that I want to do in the front, and then of course there's the garage. So I want to concentrate on those things and just kind of keep the house picked up and neat and tidy, and worry about the little piles I have in the house once I'm done with the garden. Because October is approaching quickly, and I know October's weather can be really beautiful or it can start to get really rainy. And when that happens, I won't be able to work out there much anymore. So anyway, that's the plan. And like I said, I want to be mindful and just do my tasks one at a time as I'm able and work on it that way. So, all right, I'm going to drink my coffee and I will meet you at the budget book. All right, back at the budget book. Yesterday I didn't spend any money, so that's a good thing. I have 8 days left in the month, and I will spend on one day when I go to Costco. But that's a planned spend, and so I haven't gotten anything on Amazon this month. I didn't get a bunch of extra stuff other than food. So I'm pretty happy with this month. So if you need to find a little extra cash, maybe this will work for you too. All you need is a regular calendar. And you can mark off when you spend, when you don't spend, and you can even make a notation on the calendar if you have bigger squares as to what you bought. I like using a calendar rather than a spreadsheet and all that, because I find that with myself, having to get on the computer and, bring up a spreadsheet and plug it all in there. For me, it's much easier just to write it all down on a calendar. So I've been doing that for quite a while. I used to have a spreadsheet. In fact, I made up a spreadsheet where I could plug in what I spent and it would automatically calculate everything. But it was a nice spreadsheet, but then my computer crashed, and this was quite a while ago, a long time ago. And I really was never able to recreate the spreadsheet because I forgot what I did. But it did work well. But like I said, to me it's kind of a pain to have to go into the computer constantly and log everything. So for me, this is just much easier. I don't feel like I have to log my bills because I have another sheet for that, a manual sheet. And then I just get my calculator out and add it up, and I know exactly what my bills are for the month and also what my income is for the month. So to me, that's just easier. Sometimes the newer ways aren't always better. You know, they're maybe more complicated if you like really complicated tracking things. But I like to keep it simple. The simpler it is, the more likely I am to use it. But that's just me. You know, you might like the more complicated tracking, which is fine too, as long as you do it. So I'm not planning on going anywhere or spending any money today. I've been enjoying staying home. Going places just doesn't hold the appeal that it used to. And I was never a big one to, for the party scene anyway. So I'm perfectly content. Once in a while I'll go visit my family, or I'll have a lunch or a breakfast with a friend, and I'm good with that. Or I'll go visit my mom, and that's good enough. So I'm trying to simplify everything. So anyway, I was thinking about, if you're on a journey to pay off debt, and, sometimes you kind of chastise yourself for having spent the money, because a lot of times you don't even remember what you spent it on. You just know you have to pay for whatever you can't remember. So I find that when you're doing that, it's important to stay away from negative people, because it's real easy to beat yourself up for doing something that you regret. And then on top of that, if you hang out with negative people who are more than happy to continue beating you up, it's probably not a good thing to do. So getting those people out of your life is probably a good idea. And so anyway, that's what I do. If somebody is, everybody's negative every now and then. And of course we're human. But if you have a friend who gives you a constant diet of it, then that isn't a friend. To me, friends are people that lift you up, and, they don't have to tell you how great you are all the time and stuff like that, but they don't have to beat on you either. So anyway, I've gotten rid of all those people in my life, and I'm very careful about who I let into my life now. And if I see that that person that I'm considering having a friendship with is negative all the time, then I just kind of nip it in the bud, and, it's like, nope, not for me. And I don't have to have a big come to Jesus meeting with them. I just sort of phase them out. And, I'm busy, I can't do this today, or, whatever. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. When you're on any journey, whether that's some sort of addiction or, like I said, having spent too much money in the past and you have to pay for it now, it's a good thing to keep the negative Nellies out of your life. So, all right, I'm going to work on my garden a little bit more today, and try and make a little progress with that. That'll keep me busy. So, all right, I will be back. My brunch today is I made myself a quesadilla with some of my seitan fajita, a little bit of the quinoa salad. I put some cheese on there, a little bit of hummus, and that's it, a little sour cream. So that'll be my brunch today, using up my leftovers and things I have on hand to create something new. Well, good afternoon. I thought I would have a cup of tea with you this afternoon. And I want to talk a little bit about staying positive. Something that's getting a little harder to do nowadays. Well, there's some things that I do when I'm starting to feel down or things aren't going right, and I don't want to let that go too long, that thinking. So I try and nip it in the bud, and I try and do something to help myself feel better. So sometimes it's just little things, nothing earth-shattering, just small things like throw something away. If you're feeling overwhelmed with stuff and it's just dragging you down, throw something away. Do something a little bit different than you did before. Like for me, for instance, I save my eggshells, I save my coffee grounds, I save my tea bags, I save peels from vegetables, I save all that stuff because I use it as compost. Well, sometimes that gets to be a little tedious. So sometimes just throwing the stuff away, saying, no, I'm not saving it today. I'll get back to it later, but I'm not saving it today, or I'm not saving it tomorrow. Now, I'm just using that as an example. But if you have things that you always do and it becomes tedious, then change it up and, throw it away. Do something different. And if you want to, you can get back to it. Or you may decide, okay, this works out better for me, so I'm just going to continue to do things the way I'm doing them right now. List your accomplishments. What have you accomplished in your life that have made you happy, that have made you proud of yourself? Did you go to school and finish that? Did you learn a trade that you were good at? Did you redecorate your house? It doesn't matter what it is. Anything that in your mind is an accomplishment. It doesn't have to be society's idea of accomplishment, but your own idea of accomplishment. Something that in your heart made you happy to be yourself. And so make yourself a list of that. I'm sure every single one of us can come up with something that we're happy that we accomplished. It's you raised kids that turned out well, or you helped somebody. Anything. It can be anything. I think it's important to rest and relax. Sometimes when you're feeling the need to lick your wounds, cozy up in a nice chair, get yourself a positive book to read, or watch some positive television or positive YouTube videos, and don't focus on the negative, but rest and relax, and then your body will regenerate itself, and you'll end up with more energy. Organize something. It doesn't have to be a big closet organization, or you don't have to pull everything out. Sometimes that makes you feel worse. But, let's say you organize your emails into folders, or you organize a drawer, or even organizing a pencil box, whatever it is, something small that you've accomplished. So organizing something always makes me feel better. You can also watch motivational videos, or you can read motivational books. It doesn't mean you have to read the whole book cover to cover. Pick those chapters that pertain to you and read some positive motivational things instead of always feeding your brain negative, negative, negative. That's not a good thing. Sometimes you just have to unplug and get away from all that, you know, all the news and all that other stuff that's happening in the world, and just focus on your world, on your little corner of the world, whether that's your house or your apartment or wherever it is you live. Just focus on that and forget the negative things. Sit down, you know, when you're getting cozy, when you're relaxing and resting, and make yourself a positive plan. You know, how do I get from here to here? And then don't expect to accomplish it in a short-term time frame. Most accomplishments, I mean, if it's something that's a bigger project, take time. And, you know, break it down into little steps. Okay, today I'm going to do 15 minutes of this because this will get me to what I want to accomplish. And a lot of people that don't have a lot of energy, or for whatever reason they can't go like a whirling dervish, you know, don't beat yourself up about it. It's okay. Just take small positive steps. It's like the old eating the elephant thing. You know, even small accomplishments can make you feel better and more positive about your situation. Don't carry around a victim mentality. You know, a lot of people that are maybe struggling or whatever it is, you have to also help yourself. You know, you're not a victim of anybody but yourself. I mean, you know, unless you're captured somewhere, and that wouldn't be good, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sometimes we make ourselves to be a victim. And, you know, there's so many opportunities in this world of things that we can do, even free things that are offered that you can do so that you're not a victim. If you're in a bad relationship, do your best to get out of it. Write down the steps you need to take to get out of that relationship that makes you feel like a victim. You don't have to stay there. You know, you can turn on your heels and walk away. I know that's not easy, but it's a possibility. And enlist the help of anybody that you need to be able to do that. So don't become a victim. Don't have a victim mentality. Don't develop a poor man's mentality, even if you don't have a lot of money. Most of us in this country, even if we're poor, still have way more than, you know, 80%, 90% of other people in the world. I was watching this YouTube video about, I can't remember if it was in Korea or China. It was in an Asian country, and they were showing the little cubicles that people live in. And it's not just one person living in this little tiny cubicle. It's several people living in the same cubicle, you know, and it was like, oh my God, you know, that kind of gives you a little bit of a paradigm shift about, I'm not doing so bad, you know, I have my own place, or I live with a couple of other people, but it's not a cubicle. I mean, these places were so tiny and so dilapidated, and it made me sad. It was really, really made me think differently, you know. So don't develop a poor man's mentality. I mean, most of us have food to eat. We have shelter, most of us. Of course, there are a lot of homeless now, but even that, do your best to work yourself out of that situation if you can. Don't compare yourself to others. Just focus on yourself, not others. You know, if you're always comparing yourself to, well, this friend has that, and she can do this, and, you know, this friend has that, and I don't have that. And, you know, we all have different things, and we have different things that are important to us. Now, a friend of mine, she's a little bit younger than I am, like 3 years, so not too far behind. And she chooses, she's over 65, and she chooses to keep working. And the reason she keeps working is because she can't stop spending money. So, you know, sometimes you think, oh, you know, she bought this and that looks really nice, or, you know, I wish I could buy that. But then you start to think, yeah, but I'm retired, and every day that I get up, I can do exactly what I want. I don't have a boss. So, you know, try and shift your thinking about what somebody else has or what somebody else does. So what? You know, you have the freedom to do what you want to do. And, you know, if that means, if you really want to redecorate your house, you know, taking other people's donations is fine. Going to a thrift store is fine. And I've seen houses, like on YouTube videos, that were mostly the whole house was decorated with thrift store finds. And it was, you know, or donations, things people had given them. And they were absolutely gorgeous. So focus on yourself. Don't focus on what other people have or what they do. Okay, time for a sip of tea. This is Newman's Earl Grey with honey. It's pretty good. It's a strong tea. Another way to stay positive is to start working on something. You know, some little project that's kind of been nagging at you, and work on a project that you actually want to do, not a project that you should do. You can still work on those, but you can put those on the back burner. But pick a project that you really want to do or that you've been wanting to do, and then take little steps to accomplish finishing that project. You know, whether it's, okay, I'm going to go to the library and get a Bob Ross DVD, and I'm going to learn how to paint. So, you know, anything. Or, like I said, I want to redecorate or redo my living room. You know, move a chair or clean something in the living room. Anything. But make the project something that means something to you and not something that you should do. Of course, you have to do those too, but focusing on the positive, it'll make you feel good because it's something you've accomplished that you've always wanted. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think we all kind of do that. And even if we're not accomplishing a lot, we've got that little guy in the back of our mind going, you know, you got to do it. You got to get it done, get it done, get it done. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, because that's not a fun way to live. And don't let other people put pressure on you either. That's just as bad or even worse. You know, oh, you need to do that. Go do that. You got to get it done. So don't put pressure on yourself. Just let that go and sort of relax a little bit and do a little bit at a time. Trust that things will work out. Have faith that things will work out for the better. Sometimes things happen to us, and It's very stressful, and it takes away our peace and our happiness. But a lot of times there's nothing you can do about that. And then down the road, we realize that, let's say you lost a job, and that's a very upsetting thing. But then somewhere down the road, you get another job, or you start working for yourself, you get side gigs, whatever it is you do. And then you look back, and it's a situation where you say, wow, if I hadn't lost that job, I wouldn't be doing something here that I really love to do. Or this job is much better than the last job I had. So, trust in the process that God will take care of you. And even in very upsetting situations, trust that things will work out. I have a little list here that I came up with of things that I do to make myself stay on the positive side of life. Let's see. Make a list of all the things in your life that you want to keep. By that I mean, I'm not talking about possessions. I'm talking about situations. That includes hobbies, a home you live in that you either love, or a home you don't love that you would like to change. So make a list, sit down. I'm a big list maker. I love to make lists. It gets it out of my head and onto a paper, and then I can shuffle it around until it makes sense. But work on getting rid of things that no longer serve your needs or wants or purpose. Let's say you've always done gardening, for lack of a better example, and you like it, but you think you should be doing it. It's kind of free food. I mean, it's not really free, but you can save your own seeds and stuff, and then it is free. But let's say you tried it and it really wasn't your thing. So, but you keep doing it because I invested in all this garden equipment, I did this, I did that, but it's not making you happy anymore. Let go of those things. Or if you have a house that's way too big, and you want to live in, let's say your dream was always to live in a tiny house. Well, that's a dream that could come true if you wanted it to. So that may be something you don't want to keep in your life. Let's say you love to cook, but you don't have time to cook because you're always doing these things that you should do rather than doing things that you really want to do. So, that'll free up time to keep something in your life that you want to keep. It'll give you time to maybe take some cooking classes, learn to cook online by watching videos, whatever. So letting go of the things that no longer serve you and keeping those things that you really, really enjoy. And after a while, you're going to have a list of, I would say, 75% of the things that are positive to you, and maybe the other 25% are things that you maybe should do. I mean, we all have things we should do just for the daily, everyday function of life. So those are just some of the things that I do to help myself stay positive and be in a positive frame of mind. If I start backsliding and I start feeling down, I analyze what is causing it, because most of us, if you're kind of headed towards depression, it's usually a compilation of a lot of different things. It's not necessarily just one thing. So analyzing what it is in your life that isn't making you happy and changing it, that's the only way that really you're going to work towards a happy, fulfilling, abundant life. So, okay, I just wanted to share some of those things with you. Let me know in the comments below some of the things that you do to stay positive and happy. And I know a lot of you read the comments, which I think is great. And you comment to each other, which is really wonderful. So let's share some ideas, because like I said, in today's day and age where money is getting really tight, it's hard to get things fixed, it's hard to go anywhere because the money just isn't there. But we can think of alternative things to do to help ourselves. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching.